All right, welcome back. I do realize this is just a quiz. It is a quiz with 12 questions for standard, 15 for honors. I think the standard is worth 15 points and the honors is worth 20 in the summative category, but it is a quiz that carries a lot of information. And more importantly, a lot of information that we will build on in the future. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and work through the study guide for you. For those that have missed class today, I'll also have a PDF study guide posted and a link to the to this one through Google Docs. Sorry, my brain was completely going blank. Okay, so the first thing you always want to do, your name. There you go. Class period. I'm here for all of them. So fill in the hierarchy, smallest to largest. So what we're talking about with levels of organization and the hierarchy is exactly the video I posted last because I think it's really important. The notes we did here on Monday the 10th, and that hierarchy, smallest to largest, we always start with cell, right? And what do cells form? Tissues. What do tissues form? Organs. Organs make organ systems. And organ systems come together to make organisms. So it is just that organization of life, the hierarchy of life. And again, if we kept going with it, we could go all the way to like biosphere. I guess in theory, we could go to like multiverse or something, but we're going to cut it off here. Cells make tissues, tissues make organs, organs make organ systems make organisms. So, excuse me. This is 7th period. We just got back from being outside. So my normal allergies are super allergies. Define each in your own words. What is a cell? Yeah, the smallest unit of life. That's it, the smallest unit of life. If you need an example, think a nerve cell, a muscle cell, a blood cell. So tissues, 2 or more of the same cell, 2 or more similar cells, same place, same function. So 2 or more cells, same place, different function, not a tissue. 2 or more cells, same function, different places, like maybe in your intestine and in your stomach or something, not a tissue. They have to be in the same place with the same function. Organ, now this is crazy. If you remember from Monday, 2 or more, what is it? Tissues, right. Same place, same function. So they work together for a common purpose. They want to do the same thing. Your heartbeat, you have nerve cells in there forming nervous tissue that tells the muscle tissue, which to contract, to pump your heart, that organ, your heart organ, 2 or more different tissues, same place, same function. Organ system, now this is crazy. Are you ready? 2 or more. What do you think it's going to be? That's right. Organs, 2 or more organs working together in the same place. And place is getting more general here, right? 2 or more organs working together, same place is like the organism itself in that body. Same function. And same place, same function. The function here is more of a process. So digestion, obviously your mouth and your large intestine are doing different things, but now we're talking about this function as a process. The process there is digestion, right? Or the process circulatory system is to take nutrients around the body, remove waste. So that function is getting more generalized or getting more complex as we go up. Organism, this is wild. 2 or more what? Organ systems. Same place. Same function. And, well, not even same function, sorry. And this is life. Like, this is life as you know it. This is human life. You are an organism. So life here, simple, like cell, really simple life, amoebas. Organisms, very complex life like humans, all the way down to, like we talked about in class, worms are organisms. So a complete living thing, it's made of many different systems, right? So an organism made of organ systems made of organs, organs, this is wild, made of tissues, and tissues made of cells. So if we wanted to think about this like, no, let's not worry about an analogy right now. You know I love a good analogy though. So the next thing, draw a cell. If you were here Wednesday when we went to the lab, you would have seen cells and tissues under a microscope. Cell is the smallest unit of life, tissue's the next. So a cell, like a lot of you saw, you know, we have a little red blood cell. Actually, let's not call this red blood cell. That'd be like a sickle cell. You could have a cell. This could be, could be a skin cell. Hopefully your red blood cells are really round and have something like this. So maybe a red blood cell. You have a nerve cell. It'd be like, nerve cells are wild, man. Woo! Maybe a nerve cell. That looks more like an amoeba. Anyway, we're going to call this a nerve. So, obviously, you've seen the poster on the wall, bone, skin, muscle, nerve. You've seen the cells. You have drawn them. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what it is. I'm looking to see if I have, oh, I know what I have. Whoop. So a cell, simple cell like right here, cell, tissue, organ system, organism. Do you remember that from the last video and from Monday? If you're not in my class, hopefully. Okay. So let's go on. Choose an organ system and list the following things. So let's decide on an organ system. Let me get the paper in focus. An organ system. So let's go with digestive. List 2 organs in the digestive system. Okay. If you didn't choose digestive system, you can do this. Hopefully you looked at the Google Sheets we did in class today, and you can do this. They have organs listed. So let's just stay here. Excuse me, guys. I am all choked up. So we're going to say stomach and intestine. Cool, 2 organs, stomach and intestine. This can be large or small. 2 tissues found in those organs. Well, we have muscle that contracts and releases, moves food around in the stomach, pushes it down. We also have blood tissue. And the blood tissue that we're going to talk about It's weird to think of blood as a tissue, but it's a tissue because it meets that definition. 2 or more cells, same place, same function, right? So blood can be a tissue. All you have to do is meet that definition. So what else? Oops, I was doing commas, whatever. Nerve tissue, remember the foot? We said there was like blood and nerves pretty much everywhere in the body. Well, that's true. That's also true for the intestines. 2 types of cells. Muscle tissue, right, is made of muscle cells. Blood tissue is made of, we can use red blood cells here if you want. Nerve tissue is made of nerve cell. See how we just add that like one word and it changes everything? Muscle cell, muscle tissue, more than one cell together. So, I'm going to pause this and cough. Okay, so part 2, match each description to the cell. Sends electrical signals through the body. Nerve cell, muscle cell, epithelial, which is skin, or blood cell or bone cell. Yeah, you got it. Nerve cells send electrical signals through the body. The brain, primary organ, sends signals. Contracts to produce movement. So we know it's not nerve, so is it muscle, epithelial, blood, or bone? Yeah, muscle, right? The muscles contract and relax. They work in pairs. One contracts, one relaxes. They're complementary. If they both contract, nothing moves because they're pulling against each other. So one contracts, one relaxes, and that produces movement of the skeletal system. So we can work out muscle. Covers and protects surfaces. Epithelial, again, which is skin, blood, or bone. Yeah, epithelial. Covers and protects surfaces. Carries oxygen and fights infection. Yeah. Blood cells, right? Red blood cell carries oxygen, white blood cell fights infection. Builds and maintains the skeleton. Well, we only have one left, and we know skeletons are made out of bones. There you go. Also, a lot of you noticed today I forgot to reorder these. So yes, they are in order A, B, C, D, E. Oops. But it's okay. I think it made a lot of you think that you were wrong, but yeah, I forgot to reorder. Short response. Explain why different cells have different shapes and structures. Think about what a nerve cell and a blood cell look like. Specifically, a red blood cell. So what's a nerve cell look like? You remember my really awful drawing from a minute ago? What does a nerve cell look like? It's all jagged, reaches out. Well, why would it have to reach out? Yeah, it needs to be close to other nerve cells so they can pass messages. Would you want a blood cell going through your veins and arteries to look like this? No. They would get caught up on each other and make blood clots, and that is not good for anybody. So you want it to be nice and round so it can pass through small places. You also want it, like the red blood cells, you remember it's kind of indented. And why is it indented? Yeah, it's like an inner tube. It makes it easy for it to carry things around. So why do different cells have different shapes and structures? Because that allows them to do their role better. So it allows, I'm trying to think of how to word this without giving away too much. I want you to know it, but I don't want to tell you exactly what's going to be on the test tomorrow. It allows cells to perform, T-H-E-I-R, their job, allows cells to perform their job, and form tissues. So, the shape of a cell is dictated by its function. That's the key takeaway here. The shape of a cell is dictated by its function. You can have red blood cells that, like I said a second ago, look kind of like this. They're called sickle cells. They are not good. Well, sort of not good. We'll talk about that later this year. But it is a problem. So I'm getting off topic. Let's go on part 3, tissues. If you look down on the links on YouTube, you'll have a link to the Google Sheets so you can kind of work on this, refresh yourself. Type of tissue, let's go with muscle tissue. What is the main point or focus of muscle tissue? Main function? Contract, I spelled that wrong. For movement. Example in the body? Let's go with quadricep and hamstring. So the quadriceps, the leg muscle on the front, the hamstring's the leg muscle on the back. One contracts, one relaxes. It allows you to move your lower leg and run. So type of tissue, excuse me, we could go with, one that you should know, epithelial tissue. What does it do? Yeah, it's the skin, right? It protects. It also absorbs things, which we haven't talked about, but some medicines absorb through the skin. Also, you've probably seen your fingers get wrinkly when you're in water for a long time. It can absorb. So protect, absorb. Example, you may not think of this a lot. I mean, obvious example, skin. But you may not think of it a lot, but your stomach lining is also epithelial tissue. So that's kind of neat. It also, obviously, stomach lining with some absorption, intestines with some absorption. Well, my lights just went off. I'm still here. Okay, got my lights back on. Apparently 20 minutes is the timer key. So nerve tissue, you notice how nerve tissue, nerve cell, you add the word tissue, it changes everything. What does it do? Communication, right? The main job is communication by sending signals. Main organ, brain, also an important one. Spinal cord. So nerve tissue does the communication. Your brain sends signals, tells your body, tells your muscles to contract so you can run. We're going to do one. Blood. This is crazy. Blood tissue. Blood tissue. What's the main function? Carry nutrients. And I guess carry waste. Carry stuff. Around the body. So it carries nutrients, it carries oxygen to cells, it carries metabolic waste and carbon dioxide away from cells. Example in the body, blood cells. So blood cells form blood tissue. And I keep repeating this because it is the one that just does not make the most intuitive sense. Because blood's liquid, right? How's that a tissue? It's just a difficult thing to really think about sometimes. So why would a single organ need more than one type of cell? So let's say the heart. Why would the heart need more? It's primarily muscle. Why would the heart need nerve tissue in it? Yeah, because it has to get that signal to tell it to beat. It's not going to beat on its own, just it needs that signal to tell it to beat. Why would it need blood tissue flowing through it and arteries and veins, all that? Yeah, it makes a lot of waste, right? It makes a lot of waste. It uses a lot of energy. So why do you need more than one type of tissue? To perform a function. As we go up, we get more and more complex. So by the time we get to organ, we need more than one type of tissue because each tissue can only do one thing. Muscle can contract, but muscle's not going to absorb your nutrients. It's not going to absorb the nutrients in your stomach, right? Or yeah, like you need multiple things. Like if you're building a house, you need more than a roofer. You need a framer. You need somebody to pour the concrete footers. You need a lot of different things. So the body's like that. It needs different tissues doing different things to carry out those functions. Draw two different tissues. So we can do yeah, I'm not an artist. I know. Skin. That's a tissue, more than one cell. Now this is exciting. Muscle, skin and muscle. Kind of looks like a baguette, but it's muscle tissue. So you did this in the lab. You drew them. Y'all did a lot better drawings than I can. But be able to identify tissues like that. Part 4, body systems. Do you like how I blew these up to a full page? So which system, what is a good definition for circulatory system? Yeah. Moves nutrients, moves blood around the body. It circulates blood. Circulatory system circulates blood. Okay? Integumentary system, which is a fancy way of saying skin. So integumentary system. So, yeah. Protects the body from injury and germs. It might be like, oh, my skin, I scraped my skin or I scraped my knee or something. But at least you didn't scrape your bones and muscle. That would be much worse. So, and it keeps the germs from getting in. You wash your hands to kill the germs if you didn't have skin. And unfortunately, a burn victim that has lost a lot of skin, the infection is horrible. That's actually usually the cause of death. Well, that got dark real quick. Sorry about that. Muscular system. Yeah. Muscular system moves the body using contractions. Perfect. Nervous system. You got it. Controls the body, lets you sense the environment, controls body processes like your heartbeat, even the ones you don't realize you're doing, digesting food, the things you don't realize you're doing, and it lets you sense the environment. Skeletal system, there's only one left, protects organs and supports the body. So it gives you structure, it gives you shape. I showed a couple of classes the Harry Potter video, Harry Potter the second one, forget the name of it, where his arm is broken and the professor makes his bones disappear and it's all floppy. Yeah, it gives you structure. Without bones, you're just a big floppy arm. Excuse me. So, choose any two systems and explain how they work together. There are a lot of examples here. I'm not sure which one we should go with, but there are a lot of examples. Let's just go nervous and muscular. Nervous and muscular, pretty easy, right? So the nerves tell muscle to contract. Nerves tell muscle to contract. Pretty simple. Excuse me, sorry, I try to pause before that happens. So you could say muscle, M-U-S-C-L-E, moves bones. Bones are skeletal system, muscular system moves bones. So now we can actually say the nerve tells the muscle to contract to move the bone. So you have three systems interacting. So yeah, we could, if we went with digestion, we would have a lot of systems interacting. So, sorry, got choked again. Short answer, explain how the muscular, skeletal, and nervous system, allow your body to move from one place to another. Nerves, this is crazy, tell muscles to contract and move, that's an ampersand, bones. Yeah, so, sorry, I didn't actually mean to do that. Explain how the muscular, skeletal, and nervous work together. Nerves tell your muscles to contract and move the bones, and that's how you move from one place to another by walking. Sorry. You did not have this sheet, but let's go over it anyway. Part 5. Send pain signals to the brain when injury occurs. You got it, nervous. Here, I'm gonna put these under here because it does not write well on the desk. Nervous system. I'm not gonna write system, you know it's system, because they're up here. Creates a protective barrier that was damaged when the cut happened. So the scenario is you cut your skin, by the way. So creates a protective barrier that was damaged, integumentary, right? That is your skin. That is what was cut. Integumentary system. Sends blood, oxygen, clotting materials, and nutrients to the injury site. So what circulates all that around your body? Yep. Circulatory system. Controls your reflexes, pulling away quickly from the sharp object. Are you confused? No? Good. Your nervous system again. Nervous system controls your reflexes. Helps stabilize your body and protect the injured area by keeping you upright and supported. Yeah, so help stabilize your body and protect the injured area by keeping you upright and supported. The muscular system helps you stay stabilized, and the skeletal system really helps you keep upright and supports you. Helps you move the injured part carefully or hold it still to avoid further damage. Yeah, so nervous system is going to help you do this, and the muscular system is going to help you do that. Skeletal system probably to a lesser degree, but helps you move the injured part carefully or hold it still. The muscular system sends the nervous system sends those signals to the muscular system to tell you to do that. That is pretty much it. Can't think of anything else. So, things to remember: the blood can be a tissue. Integumentary is your skin system, and it's made up of epithelial cells. We call them skin cells, but epithelial is going to be one of the words we want to use. Cells form tissues, tissues form organs, organs make organ systems make organisms. That is just the levels of organization, increasing complexity over and over. And that's about 30 minutes, so you guys are probably tired of hearing me talk. See you later. Be good. Bye.